Rawdawg and some randoms. Usually mostly careful though. Always using protection. Double bagging it sometimes just to make sure there's no seepage. Because gonorrhea, herpes, and stuff. I don't want that.
Rawdawg football talk. Strap it up.
All right. What's going on, everybody? What up, Mr. Donald Dunn? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing amazing. Hey, did I hear something about herpes in our intro?
Oh, yeah, man. That's that Rawdawg football talk, man. You know, it's that whole thing. If you go Rawdawg, there's a lot of things that could come from going Rawdawg, you know. I take it you haven't really listened to that very closely, but
well, I missed the intro for the last one, and then before I was on my phone, so
yeah, man. Dude, are you ready for some freaking football, bro? We've been waiting all this time, and tomorrow the kickoff begins, and we're in for 4 days of NFL football.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got our other buddy Kevin on. What's going on, Kevin?
Sorry, guys. Had a little.
Oh, good. Switch your phone sideways.
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
Boom, boom.
There
Bam,
it is. Look at you.
Look at that.
Sorry, guys. I'm having trouble tonight. Sorry.
It's all right.
Hey, that's how it usually goes. You know, I think the Patriots are having trouble too. So, hey, man, I'm excited to get this going. We're going to have a great show on for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about all the great things that have been happening here on this last week. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out some college football over the weekend, but holy shit, there were some amazing catches, man. Did you guys check out that Colorado game?
Yes, absolutely.
Jeez, bro. I'll tell you nothing. If nothing else, they're an exciting team to watch.
Yeah.
And Hunter, my gosh, did you see that catch that he made while the defender was all over him? And
yeah.
And I saw another great catch, I think, against Notre Dame. I think college is just so exciting, man. Those guys have a lot to prove. You know.
Yeah, I listened to the Georgia Clemson game, and man, the first half I was worried, and then the second half that Georgia played like Georgia, but yeah,
Clemson, definitely is. You know, everybody's getting out those first game jitters and stuff like that. The SEC is just nasty tough anymore. I mean, they really made that division probably a really tough division. It's going to be really hard for teams to end up undefeated nowadays. You know,
I honestly think that any SEC team, if they had SEC team as a division in UFL, that's where your champion would come out of. Because I think their program is way better than the UFL's program. They're like mini NFL.
And nowadays, these guys getting these freaking I was crazy to find out how much money college players can make now on these NIL deals and stuff like that. I mean, these guys all, if you watch them on interviews, I don't think I've ever watched any collegiate guy without some kind of gold big ass chain. You know, their hairs are all, on point now. You could tell the college players are starting to make a lot of dough.
Yeah.
Well, so the colleges also make dough. I mean, look at these top 10 teams that go out and there's these colleges you never heard of, and they're paying these teams just to play them so that they can get the exposure or whatever they want. I don't know what the deal is, but I agree, man. But I'll tell you one thing, college football, I love the way they still play because I don't like that kickoff rule with the NFL, man. I just keep going back there and watching college going, there we go. That's what I want to see, those guys running, man.
Yeah, college, you can still take a guy's head off pretty clearly and it not be a big deal. And I mean, like I said, these guys they're playing because they want to get that, NFL contract going. So they got something to prove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we got some exciting news going on in the NFL. We'll go ahead and get on with our show and get ready for our next segment. Here we go.
All right, let's go now.
All right, all right. Now we're going to be talking about some of the top news around the league. And below, I have some other news that I'm not going to be sharing here, just some extra news if you guys want to kind of check that out. The first story that we're going to be talking about is, and then we're going to have a couple stories out of the San Francisco 49ers, but this one's pretty big. Brandon Ayuk is now the number 4 highest paid receiver in the NFL at a $30 million based on average annual value. And Trent Williams also finalized his new deal. Thoughts, guys? And did that hurt the 49ers on the holdout? No big deal. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I want to start by saying I don't even think Brandon Ayuk is the 4th best wide receiver. So to pay him as the 4th highest paid receiver, I think he got one hell of a deal over on the Niners, because I just don't see it. You know, I'm not saying he's not good. He's in the top 10, but the 4th, I can think off the top of my head of multiple wide receivers that are way better than him. So,
yeah, man. I mean, but I guess his holding out paid off for him. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, it's kind of like the stock market, man. Right now is a wide receivers market. You know, think of it like the house market. You know, right now is a seller's market, and these players have something to sell. You know, so right now, Justin Jefferson started that with his contract and how much money he made, and then all of a sudden, everybody in the world was like, "Well, I'm worth more than that. I'm better than that." You know, there's been some big payouts on the wide receiver market, and I think that's another reason why Chase did what he did, is because, you know, next year that market may be gone.
Yeah, you know, and obviously Brandon kind of proved his point, got what he paid, you know, but the 49ers also had to pay big bucks to keep good old Trent Williams around. And I mean, I would. That guy is the most dominant fucking offensive tackle I've ever seen play. Yep. I mean, if you've ever watched any highlight reels of this guy, he is an absolute beast. And I mean, when I say a freight train, he is a freaking freight train. I mean, yeah, he's got to honk the horn before he sits there and smacks somebody. But that was a good, you know, this was a no-brainer for the 49ers.
Yep.
I think everybody knew that they were definitely going to re-sign and keep Trent Williams around. I think it's like an $80 million 4-year deal or something like that. But he's guaranteed a lot of money, and he's happy. You know, at the end of the day, the guys are now happy. The 49ers now are able to kind of concentrate and move forward. This has kind of made a lot of the, you know, a lot of people look at this now and think, wow, the 49ers, you know, after they came together, they might be, you know, a lot tougher than a lot of people were thinking they were going to be.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. I think a lot once again, it determines on good old Brock Purdy if he's ready to play, you know, at the next level. Everybody's talking about how yoked Brock Purdy got over on the offseason. I guess homie was spending a lot of time on his offseason in the weight room, bulking up. So,
well, you know, I think Brock will be. I think you're going to see a better quarterback this year than you've seen last year. And well, he was not bad.
That's huge for them. And if they really want to contend for the Super Bowl, that has to be that way, right? I mean, they got to play tough. Detroit Lions are starting to look very well, as you know, in the NFC as well, and can give them some trouble, especially if it ended up in a Detroit type of situation. But let's talk about some other news right out of San Francisco. We got rookie receiver Ricky Purcell on the reserve non-football injury list for Monday. But I mean, 2 days after he shot in the chest at a robbery in San Francisco. But check it out, man. This guy is already back in the gym. He is really resilient, and from my understanding, he took one right to the chest, all the way through the chest, and out through his back. But man, and this isn't going to necessarily hurt the San Francisco 49ers. He's a rookie receiver, but he is I think a rookie receiver that they are counting on. But it does sound like his injury is not life-threatening or career-ending. Thank God.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's their first round pick.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, come on, this was like 3:30 in the afternoon, I guess, and this kid comes up and shoots him, and then the kid that shoots him also gets shot by his same gun that he was using. So I'm not really quite sure what the whole story was, but this guy's a stud, man.
Welcome to California.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh damn. Yeah, man. I mean, what a stud. I mean, yeah, they're talking about him today and how he's already back at the gym. They did have him on the do not play list for Monday night, but he sounds like a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously, I mean, that NFL contract, got him being pretty resilient, right? I mean,
yeah.
For a couple $1 million, you're finding, you're going to bounce right on back. No problem.
Yeah. He walked to the ambulance after he got shot.
Shit, man. I mean, it must have been a pretty small round. I wonder what it must have been, like a 22, man. Or sheesh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't sound like that was a very strong round, but man,
if it went all the way through him, if it went all the way through him, though, I don't think a 22 would make it all the way through you.
Yeah, true that. That is probably a true thing. Yeah, yeah.
I bet they'll talk about it
on that and what kind of round it was, though, because yeah, that's crazy.
Well, according to Donald Trump's sniper, it was not a 308. So.
All right, so the big story out of the Bengals camp broke today. Jamar Chase showed up to practice fully ready to go. No contract in place. So the Brandon Ayuk situation didn't I mean, obviously didn't sit with him. And then I think the Bengals were sitting pretty tight as well to hold out the way that they were. So what are you guys' thought on this? I think it's good for the Bengals. I think it's good for Jamar Chase. I think Donald said it great. Like if he continues to hold out and miss one single game over this, that could jeopardize his career and his future. I mean, so.
Well, you think about, there's a lot to this, right? So you got people on your team that said, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and sign, and let's just get this past us so that we ain't got to deal with it come June when training starts. And then Cincinnati said, oh, well, since you're willing to do that, we're also going to throw the franchise tag on you too, buddy. And he said, okay. And he still signed it, right? Didn't fight it, didn't argue, went back to the gym, got ready for season, right? And then you come in and you see a younger receiver that's still got 2 years left on his contract, refusing to play for more money. All right. I don't care what anybody says. There's politics in everything. And, GMs and owners are looking at how you handle your business professionally as well as football. And I just think, I don't understand why people are doing it, man. Nothing good has came from it. Right. There's a lot of people. I mean, you look, who would have ever thought that Zeke Elliott would have been a damn backup running back,
right?
Well, they named him number 1 though.
Oh, did they?
Yep. Yeah,
they put him over Dalvin.
Yeah, he got his spot. They named him the starter. So
that's a mistake.
But you know what? I think the Bengals probably weren't planning on playing him any more money this year, so he would have probably been in the long haul.
Yep.
and he would have missed out an entire season, which
Yep.
that would have not done great for his career. Now he's got to basically put his fucking hands and his feet in his mouth where the money is, and show them that he's worth that money. Because then after this season, he can't be making this circus clown thing though every season, right? Holding out, and, so he's gonna have to play this very well, have a great season to come out and say, hey guys, hey look, I came back, I played. Let's talk about that renegotiating our contract.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna tell you,
I think this time management really held out and played it well on this one, because if Jamar, I agree with you, Brian, if Jamar doesn't come out and kick ass, if he just comes out and plays okay, then either way, there's going to be controversy. One is if he just goes mediocre, they're going to say, forget it. Your career you screwed that up. So you played 2 games on us, right? You played the holdout, and now you played well, I'm only going to give you so much. So I agree, man. He's got to go kick ass and take it to the bank.
Well, yeah, and there is another side to this too that is possible. I mean, obviously, none of us know what is said behind closed doors, right?
Right.
And there is obviously been talks. They have divulged that since they did offer him a $30 million contract extension or something to those lines, and it wasn't good enough. But what could have happened is sat him down and said, look, this is what we're willing to do next year. In order to give you what you need, we've got to make other moves and other changes to the structure to fit all this together. So if you work with us one more year, next year we can negotiate this in the off season and get you where you want to be and where you are owed. And again, at that point, you're 3 days away from the game. It makes sense to say, okay, maybe I better just come out here and practice, and maybe I better keep this good faith going and keep things lined up, because I may not get anything this year, but if I don't play ball, I'm not going to get anything next year either.
Right.
Yeah, and I do feel like the conversation probably went very similar to what you're saying, Donald, is, the team, management said, hey, listen, Jamar, we right now we're at our max. There's not much more money we can give you this year. So work with us, show us that you're worth the money, and next year we can restructure the deal. There's probably obviously management always looks at the financial situation of it all. There's 53-man roster, and they got all these different contracts and money, and within the NFL, you got a cap, a salary cap. So you got to watch out and how you do that, and sometimes it takes these guys to be a little selfless and give up that money, and maybe hopefully he's doing the right thing, right? Hopefully that was the conversation, and he came to his smarts and he said, you know what? Shit, you know what? They're right. Let me go show them that I can make this money.
Yeah, and you said, you hit it, the nail on the head. There would have never been no Patriots dynasty if it wasn't for Brady taking pay cuts year after year.
Right,
after year.
Absolutely. A lot of those guys on that team had to restructure their contracts. Gronkowski, they had a lot of weapons on that team, and Randy Moss at one point in time. I mean, they had some big superstars, some guys that had some big payouts. So you definitely, at some point in time, if you want that championship and you're there for that reason, sometimes you got to take that cut, man. And my gosh, yeah, I'm sorry. is $24 million not enough in 4 years or something? I mean, some of these guys are making some ludicrous amount of money, and they don't just make the money based off of them playing, right? They get all these contract deals outside of the NFL, doing commercials and
Selling
talking in
cars.
front of, talking somewhere, and doing all these great things. So,
Yep.
but all right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next set of news, and that is, let me cue it up here for you guys. What's your thought on the NFL going international? So, a couple years ago, they took maybe like one game and played in London or something like that. Now they're getting pretty crazy with it, and they're talking about really expanding it out there. And this year, let alone, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games and a possible 7th for the 2025. What are you guys' thoughts on all this?
It's something that's going to make it even harder for people to go to a football game. These stadiums, majority of them in the off season, they don't have other events. What they make from their football season is what they make. Do you think any business is going to take a pay cut if they lose 6 games out of the states? No, they're going to make it up. They're going to refigure their ticket costs, and people are going to pay more for their hot dogs, and it's going to make it harder for us to go see football games. On top of that, you're going away from your fan base. I get Canada, okay? I completely get that. But 1776 says we don't need to be in London.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We separated those ties.
Yeah. I don't like it at all. I mean, I think it's taken away from our sport for money. This is an American sport. This is what we as Americans flock to and can't wait for in the fall. And for them to keep adding on these different countries, look at Brazil. Come on. I mean, who would go down there? I mean, it's crime capital US of the world.
Well, that's the other thing that, I think that's the other concern, is that you're putting our players and some fans at risk.
Yes.
Anytime you step outside the US, that comes with some kind of risk. I don't give a shit, man. You're not in America no more. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but as Americans, we are damn targeted, man. I mean,
right.
And there's people that don't like you. So you could be at the bar thinking you're having a good time, and you celebrate at the wrong time, and you just get cold clocked and there's just too many risks there. I feel like the NFL is showing their cards here, right? They're basically telling us it's about the money, man. It's all about the money, man.
Yeah.
Because money, money takes them, is going to take them to where they're going to go, right? So that sure as hell don't think they would be going to Spain and all that, Munich and all this stuff, if there wasn't money to be made there.
Yeah.
So
there's a market,
right? And they're expanding, right? There's no guarantee that I go and play one NFL game a year in Germany, that all of a sudden I'm going to have a German following, right? I don't know that that's going to ever happen. But what I do know is any of the games that are played overseas are substandard. And I don't mean that in the schedule. I mean the players don't play up to their best in these situations because they're dealing with jet lag. They're dealing with time changes. They're constantly having to give interviews and public presence and everything to sell the NFL to this country. And then, it's like now football has become fourth priority over, out there networking and being in the area. And so I don't even get up early to watch those games, man. I don't. It's a waste of my time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for the folks that are listening audio only, I'll just go quickly through the games. We have the Packers versus the Eagles. That's on September 6th, and that's going to be in Brazil. Then we got 3 games in London. The first one being October 6th, the Jets versus the Vikings. Then you got October 13th, Jaguars versus the Bears. And then October 20th, Patriots versus the Jaguars. Then in Munich, that's Germany, right?
Yep.
Giants versus the Panthers. That's November 10th. So, geez, it seems like almost every week they're just, they're in October. They're out in London the pretty much the whole month of October. And so definitely I feel like they're doing it because there's a market out there for them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This right there, you look, so you got the Packers, all these teams right there have lost, half of these teams have lost a home game.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they were in the States, either the Giants or the Panthers would have been the home team.
Now, hear me out. So this is, I think, all in the plan of that. Let's give back another week to the NFL. So now we got 17 weeks worth of football, right? So now they're thinking, oh, now we could go. I think that's their whole thing about going abroad now, right? Is adding this extra week. Now we'll kind of go international, and because you can see it's all coming together, right?
Yep.
Well, I can tell you that other leagues have formed, and nobody watches them either. So you got Canadian football that nobody watches. I couldn't name one single team. Right. Other people,
Calgary something.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, people have tried to copy it, even in the States.
Right.
I don't see the UFL making it. I really don't. They're not even at college level. You're somewhere between high school and college at that level. It's just the game's so slow, man. And that's what these games are going to be like.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
I don't like it either, and the players especially don't like it.
Yeah, it's boo.
Thumbs down. Yeah,
big boo. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on into the next segment. Before we do, we'll take a quick break.
Join us for Hero Stock, a special event dedicated to honoring our veterans and first responders. Experience a day filled with incredible live music performed by those who served and protected our communities. Connect with our nonprofits dedicated to helping our heroes thrive. Discover the services available to support our veterans and first responders in their journey. Bring the whole family. Kids will love the fun activities designed just for them. Reconnect with your community and celebrate the courage and sacrifice of our heroes at Hero Stock. Join us for a day of music, support, and togetherness. Check us out today on www.herostock.org.
All right. As we get ready to go into the regular season, we're kind of go through the different divisions real quick, kind of give our thoughts on what we're thinking about the division and see if you guys had any changes since the preseason and all the great news that we've heard. So we'll go ahead and start it off. We'll go through the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, fellas, what are you guys thinking about the North right now?
I think the Bengals and the Ravens will be in the playoffs. I do not have the Browns or the Steelers in it. And the reason why I say that is because either the Bengals or the Ravens will be one of the wild cards, right? And then you have to ask yourself, is there another team in another division that's going to have a better record than Cleveland and Pittsburgh? And so that answer is yes. So they will not be in the top 3 best records after the division leaders. So the wild card positions are not going to go to the Browns or to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't have an easy schedule. They really don't. You think right off the rip, both of these teams are going to have 4 losses. They got to play the Ravens twice. They got to play the Bengals twice. And the Browns and the Steelers will lose both of those games, all 4 of them. So there's already a loss of 4. You go on the other side, and it's clear cut. Houston's going to be the division winner. There won't be any competition there.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Kevin? What are you thinking about the North and the South?
You know what, Donald, I agree with you 100% on this. I'm thinking that actually Cincinnati may take that division on the North. Houston will definitely take the South. But I agree, both Baltimore, Cincinnati, either one of those, they're both going to be in the playoffs. No doubt about it. Now, I will tell you this, though. I think that we still need to look a little bit with Tennessee. I don't know why I'm getting a good feeling with them, but let's keep our eye out on them. But I'm not saying into the playoffs, but I'm saying they're gonna do good this year. So that's what I think on this.
Well, I've got Baltimore and Cincinnati both with records of 15-2.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I definitely agree with you guys as well. The Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, definitely are going to be the tough ones in that division, no doubt. Both being, I think the Baltimore Ravens probably are going to be, one of the top seeds. Cincinnati Bengals probably going to squeak on through and, a wild card. If not, the AFC is always tough, right? There's a lot of tough teams in the AFC. So we'll have to see. So in the South, I feel like the Texans are looking pretty tough right now. And I think that if they're as good as they say they're going to be, they'll have a good season. But that division is kind of, to me, very open. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're also, it depends on their quarterback as well. If he comes out and he's on fire, watch out, man. I mean, they could be tough as well.
Well, I got Houston at 14-3.
Wow. Yeah. 14-3. That's
when you go through their schedule. So there's 6 wins right there. They're going to beat the Colts, Jaguars, and the Titans twice.
Do you think so? Yeah. I think I feel like the Jags might play them tough in Jacksonville.
That'll be their closest game. Yes.
Right. I think that would be one of their tough ones. But yeah, I think you're right, man. They probably seal the deal and they probably, beat out the South.
Yep.
All right. So we'll go ahead and move on to the AFC East and the West. What are you guys thinking about the East? The East is looking pretty tough. Besides the Patriots there, but the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, and the Jets, all look pretty tough.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got this as the Jets taking the division, and I got Miami as one of the wild cards, right? Miami will definitely have a better record than Cleveland or Pittsburgh. They will definitely have a better record than all 3 of the other teams on the South. So, yeah, but I got Miami as a wild card, and I got the Jets winning the division. So, I think the Bills are going to be on the fence.
Oh,
They
man,
may not
wow.
make it. I've got them not making it, to be honest.
That's pretty bold. I think
Yeah.
for me, I switched that up a little bit. I feel like the Bills wrap up the division, and Miami Dolphins is going to be your wild card. That's just what I'm thinking. A lot is based on the Jets, right, and how Aaron Rodgers does. I feel like I think a lot's riding on that.
This
But
is
I
a good
don't
one,
know.
guys.
Buffalo Bills are tough.
This is a good one because I picked different than both of you guys. I think Miami's going to take it, and Buffalo's going to be the wild card.
So
That's not bad either. I mean,
at the end of the year, you're gonna see the number one defense on the AFC will be the Jets, right? They will have the number one defense in the AFC. I think with that alone, you're gonna see that they're gonna win a lot of close games.
right.
Okay. Now I want to state something out here that most people have overlooked. It was overlooked in our fantasy draft, right? It's something I never thought you would ever hear. I'm not a Odell Beckham fan, but he caught my eye when he played for the Giants as an amazing, talented wide receiver.
Yes.
He is.
And
He
when
is.
you go and you
It brings
look,
excitement to the game.
yep, and you go and look at the Dolphins and you look at their receiving core. Odell Beckham is a number 4 wide receiver. They do have 3 better wide receivers than Odell Beckham. Isn't that insane?
That is kind of insane. I mean, yeah. Because on a lot of teams, Odell Beckham's he's a number 1, number 2 guy.
Yeah, he's even in his career saga right now of being known as the diva and can't stay healthy. He's still a 2 or 3 on most teams. He's a 2 or 3.
Right.
But most teams don't have Waddle, Hill. I'm just saying they got.
That's true, man. You know what though? Kevin might be on to something though. I mean,
they will have
definitely go back and look at the tape when it comes down to it because they are tough. They're going to be a tough offensive team, man.
That's going to be
if they can step on the defense. If they can step up on the defensive side of the ball, they are going to be one of the teams that are going to be contending hard for in the AFC.
Yep.
AFC is just a tough side, man. I mean, good Lord, especially on the offense. They're just great offenses on the. And it always kind of been that way on the AFC, and NFC's kind of been known for the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And again, if the Chargers bomb, then 3 of those 4 teams on the East will be in the playoffs. The Chargers are the only other team out there that I think could potentially steal enough wins to beat the Bills as I have it, or whoever you guys have as the wild card over there on the East. The Chargers are literally the only team out there that
you mean on the West?
Or no, I'm saying whoever you have on the East as being a wild card option.
Yeah.
That last team out of the 3
here.
We're not talking about the Patriots.
Right.
The Chargers are the only team that potentially could steal that 3rd slot away from the East.
Yeah, so for me, when it comes to the AFC West, obviously the Chiefs, hands down. I actually got them pretty much to win the Super Bowl. I hate to say it, I really do. I don't want a 3-peat, but
me neither.
They're just tough, man. They're really tough. They have so many returners. They didn't lose a lot. They're still the same team, just a year older, right? And Travis Kelce's getting up there in age, but the Swifties and all them, they'll be out deep, man. And she's in
the NFL.
Taylor Swift has been a good market, thing for them guys over there on the Chiefs. She's brought up a lot of sales and stuff for them.
Well, at the end of the day, they also picked up the fastest player in the NFL. That rookie wide receiver is by far the fastest. He's faster than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, they're looking good, and we're gonna see a lot tomorrow, and they're gonna have a big test tomorrow because everybody's got those two are really neck and neck. I mean, on a lot of power rankings at number 1, number 2, right? And it depends on what power ranking you look. You could see it the other way around. Now, in terms of the Broncos are really there's a lot of hype on these guys right now, I think, on the offseason, right? A lot of excitement for Bo Nix, a lot of excitement for the running backs. Not just one running back. They got 2 running backs right now that can kind of share the role and take a lot of heat off of Bo Nix. But I do look at them as a close number 2 in the AFC West right now because I don't know. For me, I'm not excited for seeing the Chargers, and the Raiders are always going to be the Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders can have an amazing roster and do absolutely shit with it. So,
well, again, they do have an amazing tight end. They picked up the next Kelsey. But he's a rookie, and the tight end position is tough to learn, right? And they're going to use him in a lot of different ways. You'll see him as a wide out. You'll see him as a tight end. You're going to see him all over the place. And at the end of the day, if you can't get him the ball, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
They just don't have anybody else. What? Keenan Allen, again, great, or not Keenan Allen, Adams, great wide receiver. Who's throwing to him?
and he's unhappy too right now.
I would be too.
Yeah. So I'm picking Kansas City with you guys. I mean, it is what it is right now. And, it's like you would pick New England, they're in their kind of dynasty. And then I'm with you, Brian. I think Denver's got a good shot at having a good record this year. And if things fall into place,
they definitely got a shot at the wild card. I mean, I don't count them out on the wild card. I don't see them going deep in the playoffs or anything like that, but they have a great chance. So, I mean, but there could be a lot of hype behind all this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
yep.
I didn't know that, Bo Nix transferred out of Auburn. He did his first 3 years there, went to Oregon in his senior year and killed it that year. I mean, his last year there. That's why there was so much hype on him for the draft. But he's used to going from different systems, right, and playing in different systems and adjusting. That's why I think he's going to be a good rookie quarterback. Between him and Caleb Williams, it's going to be a fun to watch. And I think there's there's Jordan Love. I don't think he's a rookie anymore. Yeah, he's already a second year, but we still have a lot of young quarterbacks. And I think they said, I saw somewhere that this season there's like 12 brand new quarterbacks on the team, which, back in the day, man, that was hard to find. Quarterback is one of those positions you always kind of stayed tight with.
Yep.
But let's go ahead and switch it up into the NFC side. Sorry about that. We'll go ahead and switch it up. We'll start talking about the NFC North. And let me get this out of here. All right. Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and the Chicago Bears. For me, I'm going to tell you what, the Detroit Lions are really starting to look very good to me. And I think that if they can clutch home field advantage, they could possibly pluck out the San Francisco 49ers and be in the championship game. And that's just kind of one of my bold predictions. But I do think the Detroit Lions are definitely a contender in the NFC for the Super Bowl.
I've been
Yep.
high on the Detroit Lions from the beginning. So I'm sticking with them all the way.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I really like the coach over there. You know, I
Yep.
really like him. He's definitely a player's coach. Gets the team excited.
Yep.
He gets me excited, man.
Yep.
I was watching a video of him the other day, and you know, it looked hot as hell. And you know, he's just going over and telling the team, like, you know, if we could just practice without hitting each other, I would do that. But we got to hit each other, you know. And you know, I know some of you are mad about it, but this is what it takes. And he just. Yeah. Man, I love it. He gets down and he starts working out with these guys and everything.
Yeah.
But definitely the Detroit Lions are going to take that division. What you guys have any other thoughts?
I got the Packers going in as a wild card.
Yeah, I definitely I could agree there. I think that I had high hopes on Minnesota, but I think that their quarterback situation kind of hurt them a lot.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna tell you,
I think it changed a lot of their trajectory.
You know, not to go back to the Bo Nix situation, but there's another reason why I think he will do better than most rookie quarterbacks, right? And it comes down to experience. You talked a little bit about it, experience with being able to play in different systems and learn on the fly. Well, a little unknown fact, he's also got the most games played as a rookie quarterback than any of the other major ones that came in and started as a rookie and failed. They were all in the 50s as far as games in college, his experience, and he's in the 60s. So, you know,
that helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely does. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the South. What are you guys thinking over on the NFC South side?
I'm thinking Atlanta and then Tampa Bay is going to make the wild card.
I actually have Atlanta winning the division. I took a real long shot out there.
I agree.
I'm not going to disagree there. I think Atlanta Falcons take the South. Buccaneers are going to challenge them, and then the Saints, then Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't have any of the other three making a wild card.
Yeah, me neither. You're only going to see the champ come out of that division.
Yep, I agree.
You're not going to see the wild card out of them. That's just early prediction.
Yep, and I agree with you.
And I disagree.
You disagree?
I said I think Tampa Bay.
All right. Well,
wild card.
Well,
it's funny because preseason I was predicting Tampa Bay to win that division, and a lot of people out there say that the Saints are going to win that division, and that Tampa Bay is the only one that could challenge them. But I'm telling you, I think it's going to be Atlanta.
I agree.
Atlanta.
All
right. Well, you know what? We're going to look a little bit here and kind of see how what our thoughts were in comparison to what the experts are saying out there right now. We'll go ahead and bring up the NFL power rankings, what they're looking at. Take this off here at the bottom. So number one, and I think this is in a lot of power rankings, they got the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, where I get surprised here is how deep the Baltimore Ravens go in this power rankings. They got them down in 8, right? And so that's very shocking to me to see the Texans actually over the Ravens. Now I know the Texans are going to be tough, but if I was to go here, I would definitely have those guys flopped. How
do you score Green Bay above Baltimore or the Bengals? If you line them up, player versus player versus player, and stats,
I think a lot of people are excited about Jordan Love, man. I really do. I think a lot of people are excited for Jordan Love. I don't see it, but I think that's kind of why you're seeing them a little bit higher in the rankings.
So let's compare Love to Burrow or Lamar. Is he better than either one of those two?
I wouldn't. I like Joe Burrow a lot. I'm just a big fan of Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is going to be one of those guys like a Steve Young or something later on down the road, who you're just going to see him evolve as each year. Joe's going to get better. Hopefully his team around him gets better as well. But I like Joe a lot. I don't think he's better than Joe Burrow.
The only place that Green Bay beats the Bengals is running backs. They don't have a better wide receiver core. They don't have a better tight end core. They don't have a better defense. So I don't see where that 6th ranked power ranking comes from. I do have the Packers as a wild card, but there's just no way that you're going to convince me that. I mean, if you look at that and you go by what they're saying, man, they've got the Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens as basically in wild card territory.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I think. First week, I don't buy into any of it.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's hard, and you know what? We'll have to see. It's it's a lot's gonna change. I'm surprised they got the New York Giants at 30. I wouldn't have them that low.
Me neither.
I
think they'll be better than the Raiders.
I do feel like the Patriots, Panthers are at the bottom of the barrel right now. The way things are looking. But I don't know. I feel like the Panthers aren't as bad as people are making them out to be.
I would beg to differ.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see.
I do think that they've got Washington too high as well.
25.
Yeah. They should be more probably around the 30.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the NFC East real quick in the West. You're thinking, what are you thinking on the East, boys?
I have the Eagles winning the East. And I'm going to be honest. I don't have them winning the East because I think that they're as good of a team as they were last year. But I did go through when I looked and I ranked their games. I had them winning 13 games. They don't have a super tough schedule. All right. I mean, I think the Eagles are still good enough that they're going to beat the Giants twice. I think they'll beat the Cowboys twice, and I think they're going to beat the last place the team down there. I can't see, but yeah. I you look at the rest of their schedule, and it's not super tough, man.
Yeah, I definitely got the Eagles taking that division. I think the Cowboys are probably a number 2 there.
I threw them a bone. I got the Cowboys as a wild card.
Yeah, I definitely can see him as a wild card as well. What about you, Kevin? What do you think?
I definitely have Philly going there, and I also go with Dallas. But Donald, I thought you were high on the Giants.
As a Cinderella team.
As a Cinderella team, most improved, not necessarily in the playoffs or anything. I think you're going to see. I'll tell you how high I am. I placed a bet on DraftKings for Danny Jones to have more than 16.5 touchdowns this season.
Whoa.
So I do think they're a much better team. I think Danny Jones is going to get the ball a lot more often because the defense has improved so much that you're going to actually see them. They're going to
have the ball more.
Like, to be off the field.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about the NFC West side. What are you guys thinking over here on the NFC West?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind. I shouldn't be anybody's doubt in any mind of who's going to win the West. I mean, the Niners are definitely going to win the West.
100%.
Yep.
But
I do have the Rams taking the last spot in the wild card.
Same. Yep. I'm with you 100% on that. I agree. I definitely think the 49ers win outright. A lot of it, I think, with the 49ers, too, is staying healthy, really keeping Christian McCaffrey healthy, Brock Purdy stepping it up. It's going to be really crucial for the 49ers. The Rams, they're always tough.
Yeah.
And Matthew Stafford, he's a tough quarterback.
I'm going with you guys on this one because and nobody's really talking a lot about the Rams, and you're right. They got Cooper Kupp. These guys are dangerous.
Oh, they're a talented freaking offensive team.
Talented.
If anything's going to let them down, it would be on the defensive side of the ball, but they're still tough even on the defensive side of the ball.
Are.
I mean, they are a tough team, and I think they're kind of laying low under the radar right now.
Yep.
And I think they like it that way, right? They don't want
Yes.
all the tension right now is on the 49ers and the Detroit Lions, right?
Yep.
And no one's really counting in the Rams. So I think the Rams are going to be tough for the 49ers. If the 49ers don't stay healthy, they're going to have Rams barking and knocking on their door.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they got to play. They're going to have to play them tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I have, Stafford's an awesome quarterback. He really is.
Yeah, he really is. He's amazing. Just a tough son of a bitch.
Yep. Very, very methodical. He sees the field. He doesn't really scramble a whole lot. He can get the ball out. He knows where it's going, and I think that was a great fit for him when he left from Detroit. And as well, I think Goff is a good fit for Detroit.
Yeah.
So I do think that was a win-win deal that you don't see very often in the NFL. But at the end of the day, there's some tough teams in the NFC, and I don't think you're going to see any losing records making the playoffs in the NFC this year like you have the last 3 or 4 years. I think you'll have to have a winning record to make the playoffs this year.
Oh yeah, this season's going to be I'm excited for this season.
Me too.
The teams are very well balanced. Besides the Chiefs kind of being the powerhouse, I think right now, but a lot we'll see, man. The NFL, any given Sunday, a team can knock someone out, and everything could be different off of one play. So that's the great thing. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get moving on to the next segment. We're running kind of late on this one. We'll probably go a little bit longer than normal. Hopefully, you guys don't mind, but we'll go ahead and get into the next one. This is the fun time. But before we do, let's take a quick break.
Are you ready to experience the power of military community right from the comfort of your living room? Introducing Military United podcast streams, now available on the Roku channel. Get ready to dive into a world of incredible stories, inspiring discussions, and the best entertainment the military community has to offer. With our veteran podcast host, you'll gain insights into the experiences that have shaped our heroes. And that's not all. We've got a lineup of talented veteran musicians playing rock, country, and more. Get ready to rock out with these incredible artists who have served our country and are now ready to entertain you with their soulful tunes. But wait, there's more. We've also got veteran comedians who will have you in stitches with their hilarious and relatable stories. Laughter is the best medicine, and these brave men and women know how to deliver it. So gather your loved ones, grab some popcorn, and prepare for an unforgettable journey into the world of military podcast, music, and comedy. With Military United podcast streams now on Roku, you can access all this incredible content with just a few clicks of a button. Military United podcast streams on Roku channel. It's time to honor, entertain, and celebrate the incredible men and women who have served our country. Join us today and experience the power of the military community like never before.
Come on. Not over yet.
All right. This is where we get to have a little bit of some fun and take a wild guess on the games being played. We take 5 games. I try to kind of take it on the big games, like we got the Thursday night game. I wanted each game to kind of matter. I think I took it all the way into the Monday Night Football. But before we get going, let's take a quick look at Week 1. What do we got going on? We got the Baltimore Ravens kicking it off against Kansas City Chiefs. We got the Green Bay Packers playing the Eagles on Friday. And we got the Carolina Panthers against the Saints, Minnesota Vikings against the Giants, Patriots versus the Bengals, Steelers, Falcons, Texans, Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Titans, Bears, Jaguars versus Miami, Broncos versus Seattle Seahawks, the Raiders versus the Chargers, Cowboys versus the Browns, and the Commanders versus the Bucks, Rams versus the Lions, and on Monday Night Football, we got the Jets and the San Francisco 49ers.
That could be a good game too.
That is going to be another great game, kind of on the NFC side.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be a fun weekend and some great games to watch. We'll go ahead and talk about the ones that we're going to predict real quick. Take a look at it. We went ahead and changed up our regular season predictions. I went ahead and changed mine over to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to take it all. Kevin thinks the Ravens are going to take it all. He switched it from the 49ers. And Double D, Donald, stuck with the Ravens. And he's still holding tight with the Ravens. But let's go ahead and get into our first game. We got the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Kevin, what do we got, brother?
I'm taking the Ravens.
Wow.
Kevin, Donald, and all right. What do you? Oh, you're taking the
failure for the Chiefs, the first game of the season.
You're taking the Ravens. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Now I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to do horrible or anything like that. I just think this team's better than the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going in really positive and I think the Ravens are going to go, let's go knock them down, boys.
What do you got, Donald?
So if I was betting this game, I would take the Ravens in the points. They've got the Chiefs favored by 3. But since this is just money line straight up betting, I would go with the Chiefs. I'm going to take the home field team and just go with it's tough to play. I mean, Arrowhead is one of the hardest stadiums to play in. So,
yeah.
So, you know what? I think the Swifties are going to be out deep at Arrowhead, and they're going to be out there cheering on the Chiefs, and I don't think the freaking Ravens are going to be able to overcome the sound. I think you're going to see the Chiefs beat the Ravens 2017, and it's going to be one for the ages, though.
All righty.
All right, for our second game, I just dropped this shit. Game 2, we got the Packers versus the Eagles.
I'm taking Philly.
All right, Kevin is going with the Eagles. Who do you like here, Donald?
I am going Eagles and Saquon to have over 100 yards. Opening game.
Nice. Okay. Eagles, and I as well believe the Eagles are going to fly right on past the Packers. You're going to see them kick their ass 28-10. And all right, game 3, we got the Texans versus the Colts. Who do you got, Donald?
Texans. They just got too many weapons.
Texans. All right, who do you got, Kevin?
Texans by 10.
Minimum.
Yeah, I think the Texans take it to the Colts. I think this is a good opener for them to show off a little bit of their offense. I say they kick their ass. Another one that probably be like a 21-13 game. Texans take it. Game 4, we got the Rams versus the Lions. This is another tough game, guys.
Damn.
I, for one, am going to go with the home team in this situation. I believe the Lions have a lot to prove to everybody, and this is their home opener. They got to go out there and kick some ass, man. It's going to be a tough game, though. It is going to be a shootout between them two. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but I do think that you're going to see that the Lions squeak out of this one 28-26. Lions.
I'm going Lions too. And I think they're going to score 31. Rams are going to score 28.
Sounds like a good score.
So I am going to go Lions as well. And I have another bold prediction. These two teams will see each other again opening day playoffs.
Ooh. Nice.
That is a very likelihood.
Yep.
Definitely is a likelihood that
I'd love to see that.
these are definitely going to be a lot of these games are going to be rematches in the playoffs. Because we have another one that's going to be a tough one that we got to think about, the Jets versus the 49ers. Kevin, what are we feeling here, man?
Man, I don't know. You're right. I'm going to take home field advantage and go with the 49ers. I know Aaron Rodgers wants to go out there and show everybody what he's got, but I'm going to stick with the 49ers. 24-21.
All right. Don?
So, not that I think that the Jets will have a better record than the 49ers in the long run, but there's a few things that, do concern me against an opening against a team like the Jets. You've got receivers that are just now signing that did not participate in training camp or any practices. You've got your number one running back, the number one running back in the NFL that's coming in not 100%. I just think that's going to be a little bit too much to ask for Mr. Brock. So I'm going to go Jets.
Woo. All right. Well, I think this one's going to be in San Fran. And I think it's, like I said before with, I forgot who I said it with, but I feel like the 49ers have a lot to prove as well, right? And Brock Purdy has a lot to prove to everybody again and to show that he's not a Cinderella quarterback and that he's, a franchise guy and he's going to come out on fire. I feel like this is a big game for the 49ers to make a point, and it is home field advantage for them. Jets got to travel, from the East Coast over here. I think the 49ers squeak by with this one, 2017 San Francisco 49ers. I think it's going to be one of those slow playing games. I think Aaron Rodgers as well. He's, missed an entire season. He's got a lot to prove as well, to everybody and show that he can come out and he's not that old man and he ain't so brittle, because there's a lot of memes about him that went out after he came out for one play and, hurt himself. He's got a lot to prove to everybody. But I do think it's going to be one of those games where the Jets are going to hold the 49ers down because they got a great defense. It's just their offense to me is the questionable side. But their defense is pretty solid, and I think that's where the 49ers are going to struggle a little bit there.
I think, let's say McCaffrey stays healthy all year. I think there's only one running back this year that is going to challenge him for the leader in rushing yards, and that's Breece Hall.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So this literally could be a game of, like you said, grind it down football. Who is it that can make which running back can make the the running game work.
Yep, and that's it. Who can get the running game moving and control the clock and control the ball. I think that they got to do it as well for Brock Purdy to get him kind of going.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to establish that run game real quick. That takes off a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll go ahead and move on in to our next segment. Before we do, we'll take a quick break.
American made, better known, we are Doc Goodbeard. It's more than just looking good. When it comes to your beard, we believe you can have it all. Thoughtfully designed, unique fragrances, and affordable prices. We strive to provide a line of uniquely scented balms and oils that you won't find in other products. Come on, rock with Doc, and remember, it's all about the beard, man. So what do you say? Let's take that average beard and make it badass. Go to docbeard.com.
All right. All the fantasy owners are, either happy or pissed off about what the hell happened over the week. We'll go ahead and we'll start off with Donald first. Good old Donald, he showed up to his ready to go, man. Patrick fucking Mahomes, man. And everybody that knows Donald knows that he's not a Chiefs fan, but he definitely lost a bet. Right. And he sent us a little picture of, you can see the caffeine and the pens and the paper, boys and gals. That's what a fantasy draft's all about, man. You got the beverages, the pens and paper. Let's go. So, Donald, let's talk about your draft, man. Did you have a good one? Not so good? How did it go? Where did your pick fall, man?
I ended up getting 10th. So was not a bad it was not a bad pick for me. Especially just the way the draft kind of fell, way people were picking. So obviously the number one pick was McCaffrey, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like the number two pick kind of surprised me. The number two pick was CJ Stroud.
Oh, wow.
That really shocked me.
That is a shocker.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of faith there.
And then Mahomes. So now two quarterbacks in the first round.
Quick, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
So my first pick was Breece Hall. That was I got Breece Hall first round, 10th pick. Right. And then I followed it up with John Taylor.
Okay.
So second round, third pick was John Taylor. I ended up with for receiving core, I got Puma Nuka, Mr. Waddle, Chris Godwin. I've got Trey McBride for a tight end. My defenses are the Chiefs and the Dolphins. I got Brock Bowers, the tight end for the Rams, that I think is going to, or not the Rams, the Raiders. I think he's going to be the only person really on the team that is going to be amazing. That could be because I'm a Georgia fan as well, but that's okay. And I got Kyler Murray and Justin Herbert as my quarterbacks. So I don't think I got a horrible team. I do not think I got the best team out of the league.
You said you have Chris Godwin?
I do.
Yeah, I have him as well. All right. That's not too bad. So did you get a grade on your draft?
No, I gave myself a B+.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think I got the best team.
The way the pick started off, though, kind of gave you a good chance in the 10th pick, though, man. I mean, the way that everybody kind of started picking, I think that helped you out at sitting at number 10. Because 10's a rough spot because you got, what, 18 in yours?
No, it was 12.
12? Well, shit. Yeah, still
And,
a lot of
and
things
again,
be gone.
I think Brees Hall is going to be John Taylor and Brees Hall both are going to be running a lot this year. Especially John Taylor. So I do think that I've got a higher ceiling with those two. Waddle, I like Waddle, and he's going to be that slot receiver. You're going to have Hill on the outside, along with Brox on the outside, but Waddle may have hurt me with that receiving core. There's a lot of people there to pass that ball around, but man, I picked him up in like the 8th round.
Late round, yeah. Well, he's still available. Why not? I mean, that's not a bad pick at that point.
No, I mean, I had to. So I also got Drake May. I think he'll be starting. So, I think he'll be a good backup. If I lose Justin Herbert, who's already kind of hurt, and Kyler Murray, if I've learned one thing from him is you can either have a lot of points or he can be on the bench hurt lately. So, I wanted to make sure I had options at the quarterback level. So,
yeah. So Kevin, let's talk about your fantasy team, man. We here's a little bit. I don't know if we could see it very well, but we'll kind of talk us through how your fantasy adventure went, man.
Wow. Okay, so here's what happened. I got really thrown off. All the preparation and everything. Here's what I didn't put into this thing. I've always been on a 10-man league, right? And we did a 12-man league this time.
And that makes a difference, man.
And
those two motherfucking people make a huge difference.
Woo! So, anyways, you're gonna have to help me here because I can't see tonight, and I'm using my phone, so I can't. And
it seems like you went your number one pick was Bijan Robinson.
Yes.
From Atlanta, the running back.
Yep.
And so what pick were you?
I picked number 4 in this draft.
Number 4, and that's what you went with.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm very shocked.
I know.
So so Christian McCaffrey went first, right?
Yes.
Who was number 2?
Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. Everybody's going high on him, man.
Yeah. So, now, if you look on my draft, this is what I was trying to tell you guys. Everything changed from what I really wanted to do in this draft. Look who I got for my quarterbacks and where I picked them. I got Caleb Williams and I got Bo Nix.
Ooh.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't think I'd like Bo Nix over Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but right, I mean, so you know how after you make all your picks, you can go out on the first game and you could see I got 119 as my score right now. That's projected.
Yep.
And, and I go, well, that's not too bad. 119 is really actually pretty good. So, but as far as I don't know. Go ahead and read the rest of the.
So, all right. So, yeah, you got number 1 pick was the Bijan Robinson from Atlanta. Then you have Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco. That's your wide receiver. That was your second pick. Stephon Diggs was your number 3 pick. And I think he's going to have a great year with Houston. So that's a pretty good one. Kenneth Walker, the 3rd from Seattle, running back. Raheem Mostert from Miami, running back. Then you got David Njoku from Cleveland, tight end. Deontay Johnson, Carolina, wide receiver from Carolina. Harrison Butler Kansas City kicker, and you got Caleb Williams as your Chicago Bear quarterback, and then your backup is Bo Nix from Denver. We got Gus Edwards from the LA Chargers running back, Gabe Davis, Jacksonville wide receiver, Demario Douglas, New England wide receiver, the Bears for the defense.
Yeah. And that's the order that I picked in.
Wow. Okay. So
it really, I mean, I had no idea I'd go that far down into quarterbacks, and it's because everybody picked higher in the draft on quarterbacks and left all these other quarterbacks.
I think your best value was in your receiving core.
Yeah.
You know, you got Brandon Ayuk, who is now going to be playing.
Yep.
And you picked him up.
Diggs is going to be a number one.
Yeah, as a 21st pick. And then Stephon Diggs is 28.
Yeah.
So yeah. And again, you know, Deontay Johnson is a damn good wide receiver. He just doesn't have a quarterback to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
But I thought I did pretty good actually in a 12-man draft. It changed everything. So next year I'm going to have to figure out how I wanted to do this, because right when I was going to pick somebody picked it again, you know, right? and you know how that works. So, yep.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Here's my lineup. We'll go over mine again. I have Lamar Jackson, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Rashad White, George Kittle, Ramondre Stevenson, Keenan Allen, which I'm excited about. Keenan Allen. We'll see how he does. I think him and Caleb got some good chemistry going. Chris Godwin from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Deontay Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott, who was just named the starter, Cortland Sutton, J.K. Dobbins, and for the defense, I have Dolphins and the Steelers. And for another running back, I have Tyler Algier, and my kicker is Greg Zergen. So I ended up getting a C in my league grade. So we'll have to see how it goes, man.
Right. And then I'm going to say this like I do on everything else. I placed in this draft out of 12, I placed 11th.
Oh,
and I'm going to tell you, I've placed 12th before and won the Super Bowl. So these projections in the first, they don't mean anything.
Nah, it's just for fun. It's just for shits and giggles on what they felt like how you did on your draft.
Yeah, but I think I did better than what I got to see as well, and I think I did much better than that.
I think the leagues are won in the free agency, if you want to know the truth.
Yes.
A lot is how you play. Those are crucial. Paying attention to the free agency, right? Because a lot of guys will drop some guy because of a bye week or something, and then you're like, fucking really just drop that guy? I will swoop on him.
Yep.
You know, I don't care if he's on a bye week. I'll have him sit this week, but he's going to be critical there later down the road. You know, I see that happen all the time where people get in a bind, and then you'll go into free agency and you're like, how is he available right now?
You know, I will put people in a bind. If I see that a quarterback is getting injured and you don't have their handcuff or their backup quarterback, and I got room on my bench, I'll pick him up and sit him.
Absolutely.
just so you can't have him.
Absolutely. 100%.
You know? That's
another way you got to play it too. Sometimes you just do it for the sheer fact that someone else doesn't get that person, you know, especially if you got them as a upcoming opponent and you're like, weak so-and-so, that's going to be rough against them. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of, different ways how you play fantasy. There's so many different ways. But did you guys have a good time at your drafts and everybody have fun?
Yeah.
Fantastic
absolutely.
time.
That's what it's all about.
We had 2 birthday parties during the
so
draft.
You killed a whole bunch of, birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just was a little crazy, but it was fun.
All right. Well, hell, man, I love it. Well, guys, it's been a fun night, and everybody out there, thank you guys so much for joining us. Once again, you guys can check us out over at the Roku channel. Go download yourself Military United podcast streams. Go get that app, download it, and you can watch us right from the TV. If you like to listen to us on audio, because you know our faces aren't pretty enough for you, you're more than welcome to listen to us. We're on pretty much all the different platforms there as well. And if you want to check us out over on YouTube, or you can check us out over there as well. And we just appreciate each and every one of you guys. Please like and share it. It helps us out. Do you guys have any things before we go?
Subscribe, Rawdawg Football Talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, baby.
Who day?
All right. Don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it. We'll see you guys next Wednesday live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. Oop. Come on.